everybody's here. And I'd like to make a motion to accept the minutes of Monday, December 7th.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Carrie Ann?
I can't vote on them because I did that.
Oh, well, I think you did a great job. I vote in favor. And the minutes are approved.
I didn't realize that, Carrie Ann. I thought somebody couldn't vote if they weren't at the meeting, but I didn't realize they couldn't vote if they weren't.
I think you could still vote.
Oh, okay. Well, then I approve.
Okay.
Especially,
If you're not at the meeting, I think that's accurate. We can't vote.
Okay.
so we signed the classification packet, and the treasurer is happy? That's a question.
Well, everything got approved.
Alright, I have an assessor's notice bulletin. That has to be signed by all three of us and then posted on the door.
We have to physically sign it? I mean, in person?
Yes, this is a large one. For personal property and real and personal property on January 1st to January 1st.
Nicole?
Oh, we lost you on that one.
What'd she say?
So, Nicole, you're not going to be in the office this week hardly at all, are you?
I'll be in here on Wednesday.
When do we need to sign this thing, this notice?
I think before the 1st.
Yes.
All right, when the meeting's over tonight, can you stay there another 5 to 7 minutes and I'll come down and sign it tonight?
Sure.
You know, I'll just pull out back and you can bring it out and I'll have a clipboard or something and I can sign it in my truck.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bills payable, 5459 W. Mason has 156.28, and Bishop and Associates $900. Bill, did you share with Carrie Ann your ATB hearing impression?
No, I felt inadequate. I felt he had a lot of things to say, and he didn't have very many positive. He didn't have hardly any positive things to say about the Board of Assessors. And Roy just told me to stand firm and go on the sale value, which I did.
Okay. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
I wanted to say more, but Roy just really kept encouraging me not to.
Okay, I'm signing motor vehicle excise abatements for 2020 levy of $439.98.
Okay.
And I'm signing Nicole's timesheet for Bill.
Okay.
Wow. Or you could also sign that when you come in.
No, go ahead and you can sign it.
That was kind of silly of me. So much for paying attention.
That's okay.
Recap documents. Schedule A1, are these updated?
Those were, once they were approved, I went in and I printed them all out.
So do you need our actual signature for all of these?
I do, because those are the ones that I put signing on behalf of the board members.
Right.
So you only have to sign the first, I think the 3 that I listed there. So I put them up front. It's just something that they say they like to have in the file. But the other ones you physically went in and signed them yourself, so I
Right.
don't need to have a hard copy of your signature.
So we need to sign Schedule A1 and the levy limit sheet and the Schedule OL1.
So those
Nicole,
are
I'll
all
come and sign those next week too, if that's okay.
Yep, I'll be in all next week,
Okay.
except for Thursday.
Except for Thursday.
Thank you, sir.
So I signed those 3 documents.
And I'll have Bill sign when he comes in.
I think we'll skip over the executive session and deal with the rest of the business and then leave off with executive session. The only thing we have to discuss is above ground pools.
Yes, so above ground pools, I was informed by Lauren from the state that an above ground pool is considered personal property and it shouldn't be taxed on our property cards.
I'm sorry, but I'm not hearing what you're saying, Nicole.
Above ground pools, so I talked to Lauren from the state, did you hear that?
I've heard nothing.
Okay,
All
so
I hear is an echo.
do you hear me now?
Yes?
Okay, so Lauren from the state, when I submitted our LA 13, let me know that above ground pools are not taxable, they're considered personal property. But the decks that are around them are considered new growth. So going forward, we should, I mean, up to you guys if you want the new growth off of the pool decks and stuff, but above ground pools cannot be added to our new growth.
So,
Why is there a category then for above ground pools and the width of them in vision?
So you can still put it in there, but you leave out a price, I guess, is what it looks like.
Nicole, so we can't assess the pools but not have it as new growth? Can we still assess the pools, just not have the new growth of the pool?
So did you,
Okay, so we're still assessing the pools.
that's not what I understood that as, because that last Zoom meeting that I attended, I think you were there too, Carrie Ann, where that guy was showing us the map. Were you there?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you notice on the property record card that he showed with the pool and the deck and everything, it'll show, and he even said, and you'll notice that there's no value for the above ground pool, but there's a value for everything else.
Which really doesn't make sense.
I guess because it can be
To look
removed.
into that further, I'm just,
Good.
That's not the way we've been doing it. I'm not saying that's not the way we shouldn't do it, but that's not the way we've been doing it.
no, and I did hear that that the state is not accepting new growth from pools.
But she also
But I didn't
lists-
realize we still couldn't be assessing them.
Yeah, she stated it's because it's a type of personal property. So like a car would be personal property, right? And that's why we get an excise bill. And like a shed is considered the real estate because you can store things in it and it's used, you know, for everything around the house. Because I was like, well, those are movable, you know, versus a above ground pool as well. And so that's the way she explained it as that's more part of the real estate than a pool because that can, you know, I don't know.
That's not how I understood it, so that's why I'm just questioning it.
Okay.
I would like to see something in writing from the state if we're not supposed to assess them.
Okay.
Very good.
So we'll table this?
We'll table it, and Nicole, in her spare time, will follow up. And Carrie Ann, if you want to, you can follow it up.
I'm going to. I'm gonna look into it a little
That's a
bit
good
further
one,
as
huh?
well.
Very good.
Now, let me just speak about above ground pools in another light. In the last, I'm gonna say 3 or 4 years, I've seen these above ground pools in backyards, which are much smaller than what I call normal teddy bear in-ground pool, above ground pools. and they're much smaller, and they actually are only up in the summertime, and then they deflate them, and it goes away in the wintertime.
Correct.
Now, those I have not been putting down when I'm doing cyclical inspections, because they're not up year-round. But the above-ground pools that are up year-round, I have been measuring and putting them down.
I agree with that, Bill.
I agree with that approach.
Okay. I'm just telling you that's what I've done.
Right. All right. Items for follow-up. Property tax exemptions to promote economic development. Bill, did we get something from you?
I'm not. If you know what, I don't know what I need to provide. I guess I'm looking for, or what the Economic Development Committee is looking for, is what kind of guidelines or what kind of regulations is the town going to adopt for new businesses that come in.
And how would we have to adopt it? Would we have to adopt that at town meeting?
I must admit, I don't know that. I don't know that. Do you know how they were adopted in East Long Meadow, Carrie Ann?
I do not know how, I'm not part of the process in East Long Meadow, so I do not know.
I understand. Can you ask, or is that inappropriate within the office?
No, I mean, everything is public. I mean, I could ask her to see, if they have any policy. I don't know if they do or not, but maybe Nicole maybe send out an email to a couple other communities as well to see if they've adopted anything or have any policies.
Yes, I think
as
that's
far as what they do.
Somehow and I'm not saying it's true or not true, but the people on the Economic Development Committee, they do know that Massachusetts will allow towns to adopt a policy like that. But I don't know any town that necessarily has that policy. They just want to put out some guidelines to try and attract businesses to build, not to move into existing buildings,
right,
but to build a building in Granby on land that's vacant. It would apply just to new buildings in the business zone.
right.
Right.
Okay, we'll have to try and reach out to other communities and see if anybody else is doing it.
Okay, right.
So what's the exact question that I'm asking?
Is there a tax exemption policy
A tax incentive, a real estate tax incentive for a new business building a building and moving into the town. And not to move into an existing building, but to move into a new building, build a new building.
Okay.
Are we done with that?
I think so.
Nicole will finish up. The question on the noise abatement map. Samantha is sending me the document, which is also apparently somewhere on file in Town Hall where Kathy works. I was hoping for a simple map, when in fact the document is something like 180 pages.
Previously, and by previously I'm going back 15 years, when the Air Force put out a map, they actually had a map and contours on the map showing the amount of noise in various areas.
Right.
And that's what I was looking for, was an updated contour map of how much noise takes place in various areas. And it was based upon that contour map where the Board of Assessors actually reduced the value of the homes in those areas. It was based upon that contour map that the Air Force provided.
Right, correct. Supplemental to that, they have updated and rehashed a lot of information that we all already have, but they put together a 180-page document when all I wanted was a simple color map that we could make sense out of. And that particular document is coming to me. It hasn't arrived yet, but I have it I have it emailed to me, but I lose the color contours, which makes me lose a lot of the information on the few maps that they do provide.
So the information, that there is a contour map in all these pages that is being sent to you?
There's every map on the planet in this document. There's a lot of information that I do not want, and it is not germane to what I'm looking for.
I understand.
They know how to produce documents, but that's on its way.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, just because I can, I'll forward it to each of you,
Okay.
and you won't make any more sense out of it than I have. All right, is there any other discussion?
Nope.
Hearing none, do we need to schedule a January meeting?
Yes.
Well, we don't have January.
It's in that tube right next to you.
Well, see, there is no January.
It would be the 4th and the 18th.
What does everyone think of the 4th and the 18th?
Isn't the 18th a holiday?
Oh, that would be the 19th. Both my kids' birthdays, look at that.
Are you serious?
Serious.
4th and the 19th, or the
Yeah.
11th and the 25th?
4th and the 19th is better for me.
So my
That's
only
fine.
problem is I'm doing sexual harassment training on the 4th at 6 o'clock at night, so I don't know how that will get
Okay,
in the
so
way.
that's not gonna work. How about the 5th and the 19th?
I don't care, that's fine with me.
Carrie
That's
Ann?
fine.
Alright, 5th
That's
and the
fine.
19th. What time?
6:30?
Yeah, that's what we've been doing.
6:30.
6:30.
That helps for our public image. Alright, if we have no other discussion, we're gonna set the next meetings for the 5th and the 19th at 6:30, and we will leave regular session and enter into executive session.